There are very few places as striking as the Garden of the Gods. The reddish-orange rocks blatantly stand in stark contrast to the backdrop of the surrounding mountains. And the rocks protrude from the ground in a way that can only be done by the force of the earth. This attraction is truly a magical place and quite popular. It is often swarmed with massive amounts of people. So if you're like me and you prefer to visit places less crowded, well then this isn't the place. However, there is something you can do to improve your experience, and that's to go early. The earlier the better. In this video, I tried to share with you my experience visually before the massive crowds arrive. So without further ado, let's get into it. It was a beautiful spring day and there wasn't a cloud in the sky when I set out on my trek. I got to the park early in an attempt to beat the crowds. To further reduce the chances of encountering an overabundance of people, I chose a trail away from the most popular parts of the park. The views from the trail were absolutely stunning, and there were plenty of overlooks that provided the perfect opportunity for photos. While enjoying the breathtaking views, I encountered what could only be described as a very spiritual experience that gave me an appreciation for life and death. Looks like we have a carcass over here. Horse? Mule? I'm not sure what. It's small, but only the bones remain. Everything else is rotted out. Go check it out. Those that came before me stacked some cairns in honor of its passing. It looks like it might be a goat. Whatever it is, it's dead. Moving on, I continued on the trail, enjoying the amazing view of the Garden of the Gods. The trail ended at the main road that goes through the park. It was now time to move on to the most popular part of the Garden of the Gods. By that time, it was the afternoon, so it was a challenge to avoid the crowds. This part of the park is where everyone comes to watch the sunset, so expect to see large crowds. But if you're lucky enough to have this place to yourself, it's an awesome place to explore. Unfortunately, some of the coolest places are deemed off limits, but I explored what I could. Encountering a dead end, I looked for someplace else to go. But there was nowhere else to go but up. So I went up. Eventually, I ran out of places to go. I could have gone up further, but doing so would have been a bit dodgy. So I called it a day and went to watch the sunset.